Okay, so just in this video, I want to talk a little bit about how our body utilizes carbohydrates and fat. So the exercise intensity matters, and the substrate that is used, and when I talk about a substrate, I'm talking about carbohydrates or fat, is utilized differently depending on our intensity. So as you can see here on the x-axis, we've got percent VO2 max, and on the y-axis, we've got percent energy from fat and carbohydrates. So the interpretation of this is pretty simple, but I want to go over it. So at lower intensities, we tend to utilize fat as a substrate for energy versus carbohydrates. And at higher intensities, our body utilizes primarily carbohydrates at very high intensity. So you can kind of see the crossover here, getting close to 40%, a little bit under 40% VO2 max. Our body starts to utilize carbohydrates, and this makes sense. So when you think physiologically, in order for us to generate energy, to utilize energy, ATP, or our mitochondria within our cells to make ATP, I've got to have a substrate. And the fastest, most efficient substrate for our body to use is carbohydrates. So when I'm exercising at a high intensity and my body is demanding that I generate ATP in order for muscle contraction to happen and metabolism to happen, it's got to have a source that is readily available. So fat does have a greater amount of energy, but carbohydrates are more fully utilized at a higher intensity because our body is able to break them down and process them a lot faster. So the higher the intensity, the higher the carbohydrate usage. The lower the intensity, the more that fat is used.